Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, buckle up because we're about to embark on a transformative journey. I'm going to lay bare 7 pivotal habits that revolutionized my life in a single week. Yes, you heard that right, 1 week. Now, before you dismiss this as another collection of generic self-help tips, let me assure you, these are deeply personal, hard-earned strategies that I painstakingly integrated into my daily life. I weathered the initial struggles, experienced exhilarating breakthroughs, and ultimately achieved a transformation that I can only describe as truly amazing. These aren't fleeting suggestions, they are tools with the power to unlock untapped potential within each of you. I am so excited to share these insights with you because they profoundly impacted my existence, and I believe they hold the same power to reshape yours. Whether you're striving to skyrocket your productivity, fortify your mental well-being, or simply introduce positive change into your everyday routine, these habits can serve as your compass, guiding you toward your desired destination. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle into a comfortable spot, and let's dive headfirst into this transformative experience. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end. These habits aren't confined to theoretical concepts, they are practical, actionable steps that you can begin implementing today. Furthermore, I'll be weaving in personal anecdotes and raw, unfiltered insights from my own journey, offering you an unvarnished glimpse into how these habits played out in my life. So, without further ado, let's jump right in and unlock the potential for a better you. The cornerstone of my transformation, the habit that single-handedly reshaped my mornings and subsequently, my entire day, was the seemingly simple act of waking up early. Let me be upfront, I wasn't a morning person. My bed was my sanctuary, my best friend, and the snooze button on my alarm clock was my ultimate enabler. Mornings were a chaotic symphony of rushed preparations, frantic searches for misplaced items, and a pervasive feeling of starting the day on the wrong foot. The prospect of willingly sacrificing those precious moments of slumber seemed almost sacrilegious. Yet, driven by a desire for change, I resolved to challenge my deeply ingrained aversion to early rising and give waking up early a fair shot. And let me tell you, that decision was a game changer. I embarked on this experiment by setting my alarm for the audacious hour of 5 a.m. The first few days were, without exaggeration, brutal. I vividly recall dragging myself out of bed, a groggy, disoriented figure questioning the sanity of this endeavor. Every fiber of my being screamed for the comforting embrace of my pillow. I battled waves of exhaustion and fleeting moments of regret, wondering if this radical shift was truly worth the discomfort. Yet, fueled by a stubborn determination and the promise of a better future, I stubbornly persevered. Then, something incredible began to unfold. By the third day, a subtle shift occurred. I started to appreciate the quietude and stillness of the early morning hours. A sense of serenity enveloped me as I navigated the hushed world before the dawn. There was something almost magical about being awake and active before the rest of the world stirred from its slumber, when everything was calm, peaceful, and pregnant with possibility. The city noises were minimal, a distant hum, and the air felt cleaner, crisper. These extra hours in the morning, previously squandered in restless sleep, gifted me with a precious commodity, time. Time to dedicate to activities that were continually relegated to the bottom of my to-do list, time to nurture my well-being, time to invest in myself. I began my day with a gentle exercise routine, nothing too strenuous, just some stretching to loosen stiff muscles or a short, invigorating jog around the neighborhood. This simple act not only jolted me awake but also infused me with energy that sustained me throughout the day. I also carved out a dedicated space for meditation and setting my intentions for the day. These few moments of mindfulness, of centering myself and aligning my thoughts with my goals, made a profound difference in my overall mindset and productivity. Instead of reacting to the day's demands, I was proactively shaping it. Another surprising and welcome benefit of waking up early was the eradication of that perpetual feeling of being rushed. I had ample time to savor a nutritious and delicious breakfast, to slowly sip my coffee, relishing each aromatic, comforting gulp, and to meticulously plan out my day. This unrushed start set a positive tone for the entire day. I found myself more organized, less stressed, and imbued with a heightened sense of control over my time and my priorities. The anxiety and overwhelm that had previously characterized my mornings were replaced with a sense of calm purpose. One personal experience that indelibly stands out in my memory is the morning I watched the sunrise from my balcony. It was a simple yet profoundly beautiful moment. As the sky transformed into a canvas of vibrant colors, hues of pink, orange, and gold painting the clouds, and the world slowly woke up around me, I felt a deep sense of gratitude and peace wash over me. It was in that moment, bathed in the soft glow of the nascent day, that I truly understood the transformative power of waking up early. The world seemed to pause, granting me a moment of quiet reflection before the demands of the day descended. Now, I understand that waking up early might not be a universally appealing practice. We are all wired differently, and what works for one person may not necessarily resonate with another. However, I wholeheartedly encourage you to give it a try, even if it's just for a week. Start with a small, manageable adjustment, perhaps 15 minutes earlier than your usual wake-up time, and gradually increase it as you feel comfortable. You might be surprised at the magnitude of the positive impact it can have on your life. It's not merely about accumulating more hours in the day, it's about consciously utilizing those hours to cultivate a more mindful, intentional, and ultimately fulfilling start to your day. It's about taking ownership of your mornings and, by extension, taking ownership of your life. Building upon the foundation of a productive morning, the second habit that ignited a profound transformation in my life was the consistent integration of daily exercise. Now, let me be candid, I wasn't always the most active person. I confess to having mastered the art of crafting elaborate excuses to avoid working out. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? The siren song of the couch and the allure of a sedentary lifestyle often proved too tempting to resist. However, one day, I reached a pivotal point. A moment of reckoning where I realized that my physical and mental well-being were suffering as a consequence of my inactivity. Enough was enough, I declared to myself. I made a firm commitment to move my body every single day for a week, no matter what. And the results, to put it mildly, were nothing short of incredible. I adopted a gradual and sustainable approach, starting with just 20 minutes of exercise each day. To ward off boredom and prevent myself from succumbing to the dreaded midweek slump, I incorporated variety into my routine, mixing it up between invigorating yoga sessions, refreshing jogs in the park, and targeted strength training exercises. I wanted to keep it interesting, to challenge my body in different ways, and to ensure that exercise remained an enjoyable activity rather than a monotonous chore. The first few days were undoubtedly challenging. My muscles protested with a chorus of aches and pains, and I frequently felt exhausted, both physically and mentally. However, I steadfastly reminded myself of my why, the compelling reasons that had motivated me to embark on this journey in the first place: to feel better, both physically and mentally, to cultivate a healthier relationship with my body, and to unlock my full potential. By the fourth day, something truly amazing happened. I woke up feeling noticeably more energized. My mood had improved drastically. I was less irritable, more patient, and radiating a newfound sense of positivity. I began to grasp that those 20 minutes of exercise were not solely about burning calories or building muscle mass. They were about carving out dedicated time for myself, a sanctuary where I could disconnect from the external world, reconnect with my inner self, release accumulated stress, and unleash a surge of endorphins, those magical mood elevators. One morning, I remember lacing up my sneakers for a jog in the park. It was a crisp, clear day, the air imbued with the scent of pine and damp earth. As I ran, my feet pounding rhythmically against the pavement, I felt a profound sense of freedom and clarity that I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was just me, the open road, and my thoughts, a harmonious blend of physical exertion and mental reflection. That sense of connection to myself and the world around me was truly empowering, a reminder of my strength, resilience, and capacity for joy. I also started to notice tangible physical changes. My posture improved, I felt stronger and more toned, and I observed a noticeable difference in my overall fitness level. But the most significant and enduring transformation was in my mindset. Exercise transcended its role as a mere physical activity, it became my dedicated time to disconnect from the noise and distractions of the external world and reconnect with myself on a deeper level. It transformed into a form of self-care, a ritual of self-respect, rather than a dreaded chore. Another personal highlight was my first foray into the world of yoga. Initially, I was hesitant, plagued by doubts about my flexibility and skepticism about its effectiveness as a real workout. But after a few introductory sessions, I fell head over heels in love with it. Yoga taught me the invaluable art of being present, of breathing deeply, and of listening attentively to my body's subtle cues. It was a transformative experience that extended far beyond the physical realm, fostering a sense of inner peace, mindfulness, and body awareness. Incorporating daily exercise into my routine led me to the profound realization that taking care of my body directly and inextricably impacted my mental health and overall happiness. It's not about striving for unattainable perfection or pushing yourself to unhealthy extremes, it's about discovering a form of movement that you genuinely enjoy and making it a consistent, non-negotiable part of your life. So, if you find yourself in a similar position to where I once was, struggling to get started or feeling overwhelmed by the prospect of regular exercise, my advice is to start small. Experiment with different activities until you find something that resonates with you, whether it's dancing to your favorite music, exploring scenic hiking trails, or simply taking a brisk walk around your neighborhood. Commit to just a few minutes a day, and gradually build up from there as your fitness level and motivation increase. Trust me, the myriad benefits you'll experience will be well worth the initial effort. Daily exercise is a habit that possesses the power to change not just your body, but your entire outlook on life, infusing it with vitality, resilience, and joy. Moving beyond the physical realm, the third habit that played a pivotal role in my personal transformation was the practice of journaling. In the past, I harbored a certain degree of skepticism towards journaling, viewing it as an activity reserved for individuals with abundant free time or an innate inclination towards introspection. I questioned its practical value, wondering who had the time to sit down and meticulously chronicle their day when faced with the relentless demands of modern life. However, 1 week of consistent journaling completely shattered my preconceived notions and shifted my perspective. It emerged as a cornerstone of my personal growth journey, a powerful tool for self-discovery, emotional processing, and goal attainment. I initiated my journaling practice with a simple yet deliberate approach. Every night before bed, I dedicated just 10 minutes to writing in my journal. I opted for a plain, unadorned notebook and a pen that felt comfortable in my hand. No fancy apps, no pressure to produce aesthetically pleasing entries, just me and my unfiltered thoughts. On the first night, I stared at the blank page, unsure of where to begin. Overwhelmed by the vastness of the empty space, I struggled to translate my thoughts into coherent sentences. But then, I decided to start with something basic, a recap of my day, highlighting the moments that brought me joy and acknowledging the challenges I encountered. As the days progressed, I began to delve deeper, exploring the hidden recesses of my mind. I wrote about my aspirations, my deepest fears, my long-cherished dreams, and even my insecurities, those vulnerabilities that I often kept hidden from the world. It was like engaging in a candid conversation with myself, a safe space where I could express my thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or criticism. And that's when the magic truly happened. I began to discern patterns in my thoughts and behaviors, recurring themes that had previously eluded my conscious awareness. I realized that some of the anxieties that consumed me were completely beyond my sphere of control, while others presented opportunities for me to take proactive steps and effect positive change. One night, I vividly remember writing about a particularly stressful day at work. By meticulously putting my thoughts and emotions on paper, I was able to process them more effectively and gain a clearer understanding of their root causes. I wrote about the specific events that had triggered my stress, how those events made me feel, and what strategies I could employ to navigate similar situations differently in the future. This simple act of reflection helped me gain clarity, reduce my stress levels, and feel more in control of my emotions. Another profoundly impactful aspect of journaling was its role in tracking my progress. I diligently noted down small victories and milestones, no matter how insignificant they might have seemed at the time. Looking back at these entries filled me with a sense of accomplishment and motivated me to continue pushing forward, even when faced with adversity. For instance, I wrote about a presentation that I was initially nervous about delivering. I documented the meticulous preparation process, the strategies I employed to overcome my anxiety, and the positive outcome that resulted from my efforts. Seeing my journey documented in my journal, from the initial apprehension to the ultimate triumph, was incredibly encouraging. I also incorporated a gratitude section into my journal. Every day, I wrote down 3 things, big or small, for which I was grateful. This practice served to shift my focus from what was lacking in my life to appreciating the abundance that already surrounded me. It was a simple yet profound shift that infused my daily life with greater positivity and contentment. One particularly memorable entry revolved around a random act of kindness I experienced. A stranger had generously helped me when I was struggling with my grocery bags. Writing about this act of kindness not only made me feel incredibly grateful but also inspired me to pay it forward, to seek out opportunities to spread kindness and compassion to others. Through journaling, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery, uncovering hidden facets of my personality and gaining a deeper understanding of my inner landscape. I discovered a lot about myself, my deepest desires, my most crippling fears, my inherent strengths, and my areas of weakness. Journaling became a form of therapy, a way to untangle the complex web of thoughts and emotions that we all carry around. It provided a safe and non-judgmental space where I could be completely honest with myself, without fear of ridicule or condemnation. If you've never experimented with journaling before, I wholeheartedly encourage you to give it a try. Don't worry about adhering to strict rules or producing perfectly written entries. Just write whatever comes to mind, whether it's a stream of consciousness, a simple recap of your day, or reflections on a specific event. Give yourself the freedom to express whatever you're feeling, without censorship or restraint. You might be surprised at the profound sense of clarity and peace that this simple practice can bring into your life. Remember, it's not about the content of your writing, it's about the transformative process of writing itself, of engaging in honest self-reflection and nurturing a deeper connection with your inner self. Transition to a visually appealing graphic featuring Habit 4, Mindful Eating. Soothing music promotes relaxation and awareness. Shifting our focus from mental well-being to physical nourishment, the next habit that significantly impacted my life was the practice of mindful eating. Like countless individuals in our fast-paced society, I used to habitually eat on the go, barely paying attention to what or how much I was consuming. My meals were often rushed and distracted affairs, consumed while simultaneously scrolling through my phone, catching up on emails, or working on my laptop. I didn't realize the detrimental impact this unconscious eating pattern was having on my overall well-being until I decided to dedicate a week to the practice of mindful eating. Mindful eating is essentially about paying full and undivided attention to the experience of eating and drinking, engaging all of your senses to fully appreciate the food you're consuming. It involves being present in the moment, noticing the flavors, textures, and even the sounds of your food, and cultivating a sense of gratitude for the nourishment it provides. So, I made a conscious commitment to eat all my meals mindfully for 1 week. I started by setting the scene for my meals, creating a tranquil and inviting atmosphere that would encourage me to slow down and savor the experience. I cleared my dining table of clutter, set a nice place for myself with a cloth napkin and my favorite utensils, and eliminated any potential distractions. No phone, no television, no laptop. It felt a bit strange at first to sit quietly with my meal, without the usual distractions to occupy my mind. But it quickly evolved into a calming and restorative ritual, a welcome respite from the chaos of the day. I began each meal with a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly and exhaling completely, to center myself and bring my focus to the present moment. One of the first things I noticed was how much more I enjoyed my food. By engaging all of my senses and paying close attention to each bite, I took the time to truly taste and appreciate the complex flavors and textures of the food I was consuming. Foods I had eaten hundreds of times before suddenly revealed new and delightful nuances that I had never really noticed. For example, the satisfying crunch of fresh vegetables and the delicate sweetness of ripe fruit became much more pronounced, enriching my eating experience and fostering a deeper appreciation for the natural world. It was like experiencing food in high definition, savoring every moment and appreciating the artistry that went into its creation. Another major change was the enhanced sense of satiety I experienced after meals. By eating slowly and mindfully, I allowed my body the necessary time to signal when it was full, preventing me from overeating. This was a significant shift for me, as I used to habitually eat quickly and often ended up consuming far more food than my body actually needed. By paying attention to my hunger and fullness cues, I found that I naturally ate less and felt more satisfied, eliminating the discomfort and sluggishness that often followed my previous rushed meals. One memorable experience involved a simple bowl of oatmeal. Normally, I would wolf it down without a second thought, barely registering its taste or texture. But this time, I approached it with a mindful intention, taking each spoonful slowly and savoring the creamy texture and the subtle sweetness of the honey I drizzled on top. It became a moment of gratitude and mindfulness that set a positive tone for the rest of my day, a reminder to appreciate the simple pleasures in life. I also started to notice how different foods made me feel. Heavy, processed foods left me feeling sluggish, bloated, and mentally foggy, while fresh, whole foods made me feel energized, light, and clear-headed. This heightened awareness led me to make healthier food choices naturally, without feeling deprived or restricted. I gravitated towards foods that nourished my body and supported my overall well-being, fostering a more harmonious relationship with food. Another crucial aspect of mindful eating is being aware of the emotional connections we have with food. I started to recognize instances when I was eating out of boredom, stress, or emotional comfort, rather than true physiological hunger. This awareness was incredibly powerful, enabling me to interrupt the cycle of emotional eating and make more conscious choices. Instead of mindlessly reaching for a snack when I felt stressed or bored, I could pause, acknowledge my emotions, and address the underlying cause. Maybe I needed a break from work, some relaxation, or a conversation with a friend, rather than a bag of chips. There was one particular evening when I had a craving for something sweet after dinner. Instead of automatically reaching for dessert, as I would have done in the past, I paused, took a few deep breaths, and asked myself if I was truly hungry or just seeking a reward after a long day. I realized that I wasn't actually hungry and opted for a warm cup of herbal tea instead. It was a small victory, but it highlighted the transformative power of mindful eating and its ability to help me break free from unhealthy eating patterns. Incorporating mindful eating into my life was a transformative experience. It helped me develop a healthier and more conscious relationship with food, improved my digestion, reduced my stress levels, and even enhanced my overall sense of well-being. It's a habit that I've continued beyond that initial week, and I can't recommend it enough. If you're interested in exploring the practice of mindful eating, I suggest starting with just one meal a day. Sit down at the table without any distractions, take a few deep breaths to center yourself, and savor each bite. Pay attention to the flavors, textures, and aromas of the food, and notice how the food makes you feel, both physically and emotionally. You might be surprised at how this simple practice can completely change your eating experience, transforming it from a mindless habit into a nourishing and enriching ritual. It's a wonderful way to reconnect with your body, cultivate gratitude, and truly appreciate the nourishment that food provides. Navigating the complexities of the modern world, habit number 5, the conscious and deliberate act of limiting screen time, presented a particularly formidable challenge for me. And I suspect it resonates with many of you as well. We are inextricably embedded in a digital ecosystem, surrounded by screens that demand our constant attention. It's exceedingly easy to get sucked into endless hours of scrolling through social media feeds, binge-watching television shows, or compulsively checking emails. However, I came to the stark realization that all this screen time was taking a significant toll on my mental health, my productivity, my relationships, and even my sleep quality. The constant barrage of information, the curated perfection of social media, and the addictive nature of digital entertainment were contributing to feelings of anxiety, comparison, and disconnection. Driven by a desire to reclaim my time and mental well-being, I resolved to set some firm boundaries around my screen usage and observe the impact. I embarked on a digital detox, a conscious effort to reduce my reliance on screens and cultivate a more balanced and intentional relationship with technology. First, I established a daily limit of 1 hour for non-work-related screen time. This meant consciously refraining from mindless scrolling through Instagram, avoiding endless YouTube marathons, and resisting the temptation to engage in late-night TV binges. It was undeniably tough at first. I had become so accustomed to filling every spare moment with screen time that the prospect of disconnecting felt almost unbearable. However, I persevered, reminding myself of the compelling reasons that had motivated me to undertake this digital detox. I craved more time for meaningful activities, a stronger connection with myself and my surroundings, and a greater sense of mental clarity and well-being. The first thing I noticed was the abundance of time that suddenly appeared in my day. I hadn't fully grasped how much of my precious time was being devoured by screens until I consciously limited my usage. With those extra hours, I found myself rediscovering old hobbies and interests that I had long neglected. I picked up a book I had been meaning to read, started doodling and drawing again, and even tried my hand at cooking new recipes. One evening, instead of mindlessly watching television after dinner, I decided to take a leisurely walk in the park. The fresh air, the soothing sounds of nature, and the simple act of moving my body felt incredibly rejuvenating. It was a stark and welcome contrast to the usual screen-induced lethargy I often experienced. That walk became a cherished part of my daily routine, something I looked forward to and enjoyed immensely. Another significant and noticeable change occurred in my sleep quality. I used to habitually take my phone to bed, scrolling through social media feeds or watching videos until I felt drowsy. However, this seemingly innocuous habit often left me feeling wired and restless, leading to poor sleep, frequent awakenings, and a general sense of exhaustion. By limiting screen time, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime, I found it much easier to wind down and prepare my mind and body for sleep. I established a bedtime routine that didn't involve screens, reading a physical book, practicing meditation, or simply reflecting on my day in my journal. This seemingly simple change led to deeper, more restful sleep, and made a profound difference in my overall energy levels, mood, and cognitive function. I also observed remarkable improvements in my mental health. Without the constant barrage of news updates, social media comparisons, and digital distractions, I felt less anxious and more present. I was more focused during conversations, more attentive to the people around me, and more engaged in my daily activities. It was as if a fog had lifted from my mind, allowing me to see and experience life with greater clarity and appreciation. One particularly memorable day was when I spent an entire afternoon at a local cafe with just a notebook and a pen. I wrote down my thoughts, brainstormed new ideas, planned some goals, and even sketched a bit. It was such a peaceful and productive time, free from the constant interruptions and distractions of the digital world. I felt more connected to myself and my surroundings in a way that screens had never allowed, a sense of presence and engagement that enriched my experience and fostered a deeper sense of contentment. Of course, there were moments of temptation and occasional slips along the way. There were times when I found myself mindlessly reaching for my phone out of habit, succumbing to the allure of social media or the temptation to check my email. But each time I noticed myself engaging in this unconscious behavior, I gently reminded myself of the benefits I was experiencing from limiting screen time and consciously redirected my focus to something more fulfilling. Limiting screen time is not about completely eliminating technology from your life or demonizing the digital world. It's about cultivating a healthier balance and being more intentional with your time and attention. It's about reclaiming your agency and making conscious choices about how you want to spend your precious moments. If you're feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, or mentally fatigued, I wholeheartedly encourage you to experiment with setting some screen time boundaries. Start small, perhaps with an hour less each day, and gradually increase it as you feel comfortable. Use that extra time to reconnect with yourself, your loved ones, and the world around you. Engage in activities that nourish your soul, stimulate your mind, and bring you joy. You might be surprised at how much richer and more fulfilling life can be when you step away from the screens and engage more fully with the real world. Alright everyone, that brings us to the culmination of our journey through the 7 habits that dramatically transformed my life in just 1 week. It's been an incredible experience, not just implementing these habits myself but also having the privilege of sharing them with you. Each of these habits has the potential to create significant positive changes in your life, regardless of your background, circumstances, or goals. And I truly believe that if they could work for me, they can work for anyone who is willing to commit to the process. If you've been inspired by any of these habits, I wholeheartedly encourage you to try them out for yourself. Start small, maybe with just one habit that particularly resonates with you, and see how it feels. Adjust your approach according to what suits your unique lifestyle and needs. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about making small, manageable changes that, over time, accumulate into substantial transformations. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Please drop a comment below sharing which habit you're thinking of adopting or any questions you might have about starting your own transformative journey. Your feedback and stories are what make this community so amazing and supportive. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our future content. We have lots more insights, tips, and strategies coming your way that you won't want to miss. Sharing this video with friends or family members who might benefit from these habits could also make a huge difference in their lives. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, small changes lead to big results. Let's keep growing, keep evolving, and transform our everyday routines into powerful moments of self-improvement. See you in the next video. Stay awesome, everyone. This video explored 7 transformative habits that the creator integrated into their daily routine, leading to significant positive changes in just 1 week. These habits included waking up early to cultivate mindfulness and productivity, engaging in daily exercise for improved physical and mental well-being, journaling for self-reflection and emotional processing, practicing mindful eating for a healthier relationship with food, and limiting screen time to enhance mental clarity and presence. The creator shared personal anecdotes and practical tips for implementing each habit, emphasizing the importance of starting small and adjusting the approach to suit individual needs. The video concluded with an encouragement for viewers to try these habits themselves and to share their experiences in the comments. The overall message was that small, consistent changes can lead to substantial personal growth and a more fulfilling life.